Welcome, everybody. And I asked if Mike is here. Thank you, Mike. And just one, this is the board work session, March 21, 2019, 9 a.m. at the boardroom. And I'll call the meeting to order. And just a comment regarding the Arbor Day soft opening. It looked like a pretty good crowd on a miserable day, and I regretfully golfed that day in that miserable weather, and I should have gone over that.
It's all right.
Yeah. Are we ever going to get spring here?
Today.
Yesterday.
4:30 yesterday, wasn't it?
This afternoon, next year.
Anyway, all right. Item 2 is a change in scope and funding regarding the gun range capital project, and I'll yield to Tom.
And just to mention that Ruth unfortunately was not able to make today's meeting. She has a speech, she's giving a speech at this time at a ladies club, I think it is, in Highlands. So she wouldn't be able to make it. So on page 3 of your board packet, you'll see a request for a change in scope and funding for the gun range capital project, which was approved last year for 2019. Several years ago, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, we brought a lead reclamation company out to collect the lead at the Highlands gun range. The POA received a check for $43,000 for that work. At that time, the POA made a promise that those funds would be shared or used exclusively for the Highlands gun range. What we're looking at doing is expanding and adding an additional track field on the far right-hand side. As we got into the project, we realized that we needed to adjust the scope, because we had to add a handicap parking stall down there to make it fully handicap compliant. It also was determined that the machine that sends the clay targets out was more expensive than originally anticipated. What we would like to do is change the scope to include handicap accessibility and to increase the funding amount to $48,000. And we're requesting that the board take a vote on this at next week's meeting. Any questions?
Any questions from board members? All right.
I'd like to ask a question. How does was this taking into account the most recent customer made to the budget? You cut $100,000 from those customer made after the budget had been initially approved.
This came to my attention just recently, so this is brand new, so it was not factored into any adjustments to our budget.
So is it going to require adjustment at some other part of the budget to accommodate the additional funds? So if you cut, what I'm saying is you cut $100,000 because you had to. Now we're going to spend more, so that get $100,000 now not $100,000 anymore. It's whatever it was.
And that is absolutely our goal, is to try and make those reductions so that we're square.
So you're going to make it someplace.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next item, Roman numeral 3, modifications to policy 1.03.2, guidelines for functioning of the election committee. This is the second reading of the required 2 readings. Any questions of Doug at this point?
And there have been no additional changes made to this since the last time. Actually, there's no additional changes made to this last time the board saw this and voted on it.
Has this been brought to the election committee, these changes?
Yeah, Lee and I, when we were still here, we discussed this and we talked about how this would make it easier for them, and they were appreciative because this way when they reveal the names in January and then they have to come back in February to do the lottery, they they can do everything all at one time in January. They can reveal the names and do the lottery all at the same time. So they were appreciative of the changes.
Okay, good.
Any other questions regarding 1.03.2? All right. Item number IV is modifications to policy 6.02, official POA publications and release of information. This is the second reading that will require 2 readings. Any additional comments or a need to hold this off or pursue it at the next board meeting?
No changes have been made since the first reading.
That's correct, none have been made.
No changes at all, and I apologize, at least on my copy on page 9, the print, the copier did not come out too great. You can see it a little bit. If anybody wants to read it clearly, we can give you another copy, or it is already available on the POA's website under the policy section, where it's under policies currently under consideration for change.
Roman numeral 5, modifications to policy 7.04, investment policy. This is the second reading of a required 2 readings. Any possible changes or comments?
If you recall, last month's meeting for the first reading, it was passed on the first reading, but amended by a suggested amendment by Mary, which is reflected in this in the investment policy. The change was made to item 2.3G. And so Mary suggested putting a definite period of time when that would be done instead of just annually. So now it says in conjunction with the presentation of the annual audit results. Before it just said on an annual basis it will be provided, but now it says in conjunction with the presentation of the annual audit results. So there's a fixed date and time when it will be provided. So again, as long as there are no other changes, then this will move forward to the second reading.
All right. Roman numeral 6, vote to approve Tammy Lloyd as our new corporate secretary. I believe we would vote on that next week.
Yeah, and I apologize, in the initial agenda that I put out, it said vote, and I was thinking that I was just notifying you that we would vote and talk about it today, and we would vote on it next week, but a few people got the impression we were actually going to take a vote today. The board can take a vote at the work session. We like to avoid doing that. There's no pressing need. We have Roxy here, who is our assistant corporate secretary, so we can wait until next week to take this vote, to name Tammy Lloyd as our new corporate secretary.
All right. And then item Roman numeral 7, update on the Trafalgar Road fire and stump dumps.
So the update on that is, I'm going to start with the other stump dumps first. If you recall, we have submitted the plans on the 3 locations that are, we have submitted FTN, who POA has hired, has submitted to ADEQ the plans to close in the eyes of ADEQ those 3 sites that are located in the city limits of Bella Vista. The plans to close the one at Highlands on the far west side were a little bit more extensive. That work has finally been completed, and those plans have been submitted also. We're still waiting back for word from ADEQ on all 4 of those sets of plans as to when we can start and move forward and close those sites. With regards to the Trafalgar Road fire, the POA has hired CTEH, which is an air quality sampling company. We anticipate I'm sorry, let me back up. CTEH was out last week. They worked from Tuesday till Monday. Is that correct, Doug? From Wednesday to Monday?
Wednesday to Monday, yes.
So they're getting baseline readings at this time, or they were getting baseline readings, and we should get those results pretty soon. It should be a week or so, and we made the commitment that we will post those We'll provide them to the city, and we will post them and have them post to the city's website regardless of the outcome of the testing results.
ADEQ has also asked for copies of that, so we'll obviously provide that to ADEQ.
And the health department also, ADEQ has requested that if they can share that information with the Department of Health, we've given them that authority. So we're being, as cooperative as possible with ADEQ. Also, the fourth set of testing results for the lakes, for Lake Ann and Lake Brittany, came in. Those were all fine. Those are currently available on the city's website. And I will emphasize again, for people that are interested in getting information regarding the Trafalgar Road fire, to go to the city's website. They keep it up to date. And what we've been doing is we've been providing them with information, and they've been kind enough to post it to their website. That way, there's only one location that people have to go to. What we don't want to do is our residents have to go to the city's website to get some information, and to the POA's website to get other information. Just have it all in one location, and the city's been very cooperative on that. Any questions?
Is the ADEQ any closer to hiring somebody to deal with the fire?
According to their website, they are getting closer. But I think that I encourage everybody to read the website. The ADQ has some press releases, and that's I would refer everybody to the website.
At the last meeting, I had asked if we could do a graphic presentation or something like that, a cumulative presentation of the readings that we gathered over time. That's still
We're planning on providing that in next week's meeting.
that's great.
Very good. A couple other items before we go to announcements. One, we don't list open forum, but we will go to that here in a minute. Ruth gave me proxy today, so I'm chair pro tem. And I'm asking Doug, our counsel, to set up an executive meeting of the board sometime at least 7 days after March 20th, and to poll the board, a couple of options to make sure we get a quorum at the meeting. And then we'll go into executive session on a confidential board matter at that time. And it doesn't require a vote of the board. The chair can call for this session. All right? Clear? Yeah, clarify. Okay. Open forum. Do we have anybody from the audience who would like to speak? And as always, 3 minutes, name and address. All right. Thank you. Now, announcements. We have a Rules and Regulations Committee meeting on Monday, March 25th at 2:30 p.m. in the boardroom at the Country Club. It is a public meeting. And just to preempt you, the couple of items that we're going to discuss. One will be some proposed changes to our guest policies that the board has discussed somewhat, but we're also letting Rules and Regulations digest that topic as well. And secondly, at the request of board member David Brandenburg, we're going to, Rules and Regs is going to look at the current rules and policies regarding attendance of board members at meetings. Perhaps a revision to that might evolve over time. Those would be the two topics. Pat?
Previously, we had had a situation where a member of the community wanted to extend their septic system into common property because of their ability to get it to perk.
I remember that.
And there was a segment in that policy that required that the board take action, approve the action. And I would like to add to the Rules and Regulations Committee agenda, just a consideration of that, that we allow staff, we delegate to staff decisions, because our decision would be perfunctory.
Sure.
And I couldn't even imagine a situation where we would go against the analysis of the staff. The other thing was, Jim, have you, I know we had brought up the fact that mission, vision, and values for the board. Were we going to discuss that? Do you have any thoughts or plans for discussing that at any future meeting?
I don't. I know we had a retreat out at Lake Point, didn't we? And we were going to get into that topic as well, but we got into so many more topics that day that we suspended it as a full board. So I'm open to have rules and regulations look at this concept of vision, mission, and values a little bit, and then decide whether or not to request that the board have a separate meeting to address that topic.
Just to make sure that we keep that in front of our minds, that we still have to consider doing that.
Yeah, because I noticed some of our documents refer to the mission of the board, and yet we don't have a defined, prescribed mission. We pretty much know what our mission is. It's to operate within our documents and to serve the community. But we had a draft of some concepts that we might develop. So yeah, we can look at that too. Our meeting. All right, and also the Board of Directors regular meeting Thursday, March 28th at 6 p.m. I'll note that for the community in the boardroom at the Country Club. And Board of Directors GM meeting Thursday, April 11th at 2:30 p.m. in the boardroom. Board of Directors work session Thursday, April 18th at 9 a.m. in the boardroom. And Board of Directors regular meeting in April on April 25th at 6 p.m. in the boardroom at the Country Club. And with that, let's adjourn.